Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Xavier McLean, aka Xavier McLean, aka 3 Truly, and I'm back with another episode of Truly Talks. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Xavier McLean, aka Xavier McLean, aka 3 Truly, and I'm back with another episode here at Truly Talks. It's been a minute, man. Last time you guys saw me, I was in the US. Now I'm in France, man. And before we get to it, I'm sure everybody that's tuned in, they understand how are you in France now? You were just in Portugal. What happened? What's going on? Whatever. Yeah, all of that. Last time you guys saw me, I was in Florida, rehabbing from my injury, my shoulder. Obviously, as you see, fully recovered, fully back. And a lot has happened since then. I started my professional career. Like I said, I played in Portugal, which was an amazing experience. Shout out to Vasco da Gama, shout out to Porto. It was great to me. And now here we are in Lyon, playing with OLB here in France, which has been a amazing experience, a learning experience. I level up. And so everything has been a whirlwind over the last few months, guys. And we'll get into that. But we're going to go to my favorite spot that I think is my favorite spot other than the gym since I've been here in Lyon is actually Maison Beckham, which is like a bakery area. Well, it is a bakery. Somewhere I go pretty often. So I'll come in here, get some food, and we'll talk a little bit more. Cool.
You want a croissant?
Huh?
You want a croissant?
Actually, maybe. I've been trying to learn a little bit of French as I look at everything.
What do you like in French? In sweet?
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah, everything. Like bakeries, I love bakeries. I love everything in bakeries. And when I'm here, when I come to restaurants and bakeries and stuff, I try to take this time to learn some French words.
Yeah.
It helps me.
Oh yeah, awesome.
Avez-vous? Do you have? And then it's Pouvez avoir?
Yeah.
Bonjour. Can do cookie chocolate? And un éclair vanille? What's up, guys? Zay here. As you can see, we are inside of Beckham, Maison Beckham. Is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it. Yeah, okay, cool. But yeah, long story short, man, I'm in France. We're in the middle of the playoffs right now. We're actually in the semifinals against Pau. Dropped one last night. As of right now, it's June 4th, so we dropped one last night. Tough one. Could have won, but got to move on to the next game. So we're getting ready to play again Saturday here at home in Lyon, which is good because that drive from Lyon to Pau was very long. Staying there was different. It was even longer coming back home after a loss. So, now that we're back in Lyon and we get to play in front of our home fans and sleep in our own beds, I think we'll be better. Excuse me. We kind of have no choice to. It's winter go home, so and we don't really plan on going home, so we're ready for Saturday. Like I said before, man, a lot has happened since the last time we talked. I made my dream happen, honestly. I was able to basically go and play professionally. I had a not a short stint, but a shorter stint in Portugal, which I'm very thankful for because it taught me a lot. It allowed me to grow as a basketball player. It allowed me to see how well I can play. And then I was able to come here to early on and basically get the opportunity that a lot of rookies don't really get, to be able to make a jump from first division Portugal, which is Liga Becklick, to Elite 2, Pro B, which most people know it as, here in France. It was very unique for me, very unique situation. But we're going to go by it piece by piece, because as you guys know, like I said before, it's been a roller coaster for me. And not only adjusting to being in Europe, not only adjusting to being in a different country and stuff like that, but just understanding the level of professionalism, business, and just the overall just approach that you have to have in order to do this. And I'm only in year one, and it hasn't even been a full year for me because, as you guys know, I started late having my injury. But just in these few months that I've been able to kind of experience professional basketball, seeing kind of the business side of it, seeing what happens, and seeing how guys maneuver. I've learned a lot over these last few months. So just to kind of go in a little bit of detail, I was in Florida until October, rehabbing. Shout out to FGCU. Shout out to Coach Chambers and Cassidy and Dr. Guerra out in Naples. They definitely did a really good job of making sure that I recovered well. I had a schedule, I would say, but we definitely took our time in terms of just being able to make sure that we had no setbacks, right? So even when I was feeling better and feeling like I could do certain things and feeling like I could maybe ramp up a little bit, and we did do that, but it was very cautious. It was very strategic in how we did that. Just reassuring that there wouldn't be any troubles. There wouldn't be anything crazy going on, and it wouldn't allow for a situation where I would have to regress in my treatment or regress in my rehab and my program. And I was able to basically come back by October. And so I was in Florida, working out, doing everything, staying in shape. Went back home to North Carolina in October, and basically was home for a few months. Well, a couple months. And for me, when I went home in October, I was basically under the impression, that, I'd be home for a couple of weeks. It wouldn't be anything crazy, I'll be home, I'll work out, get in shape. In the next couple to few weeks, I'll be in a different country playing somewhere, et cetera, et cetera. And it was looking like that because before I actually left Florida, I was talking to a couple of teams that were interested in, bringing me in, stuff like that. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, cool, I'll have the opportunity to play with some teams. There'll be offers that come around. I'm very optimistic about what's going to happen, so it's cool. So I came back to North Carolina October 1st. My dad actually came to Florida with me, packed up all my stuff. We left Florida and drove to North Carolina. It was the first time I ever took a road trip and drove by myself, 10 plus hours. It was crazy. And for everybody that knows me, they know that I have a Tesla. So not only wasn't just 10 hours, it was drive a few hours, got to stop and charge. You may have to drive out of the way to go to a charging station. So 10 hours turns to 12 hours. And then sometimes you just get tired, so you want to just stop. And my dad, he likes to stop at different places, like I remember he was, what's it called? He wanted to go to, I think it's called Buc-ee's or something like that. And it was like a Buc-ee's like every 3 hours, and he wanted to stop at everyone. And so we ended up making good time. I think we ended up getting back home in probably like 12 12 and a half hours probably. Um, but that was a crazy road trip, and I don't know if I would ever drive that far again, just because like it was not fun for me. But it was cool. So we get home, and like I said, I'm under the impression I'm gonna be home for a few weeks. Everything is fine, whatever. I'm working out. I'm chilling, doing my thing. Had a couple offers come by. Well, I had a couple teams interested. Had one offer come from a team in Portugal, and at the time, I'm understanding from my agent, where my value is, right? Where where market value is for me as a rookie, coming from the level of college that I came from, with the stats that I have, et cetera, position I play. So I know what I could potentially make, and I know also with me being injured or coming off of an injury, there's a question mark for some teams. So salary could be a little bit lower. I get it, I understand it. At the time, though, it was a team that was first division Portugal. Shout out to them for extending the offer, because I appreciate them, taking a chance on me. Yeah, I appreciate them. I have a lot of respect for them, actually. They came with the offer. It was cool. They told me everything was fine. But then the money came and the salary came, and I was like, this is crazy. Like, this amount of money is too low. Like, I can't take this money. Like, I can't even really pay like any of my bills with this money. Like, I still whatever. And so I said no. I'm cool. I'll wait it out. I'm sure there'll be some other things that come around, blah, blah, blah. And I remember having this feeling of like, yeah, bro, like I'm cool. Like, why would I take that? Like, that's crazy. Like, I know I deserve more. I know I could, whatever. Like, I had a certain number in my head that I was trying to get to, or at least get really close to. And I hadn't got to that number, so I was just like, nah, cool. I'd rather just stay home, work out, whatever, do my thing. Boom. And talking to my family about it, everybody's reaction was like, it was cool. And but okay, yeah, I understand that, but it was also, part of it was kind of like, I could see that they wished I would have took it. And so I even talked to my mom about it, and she was like, she thought I could take it. She thought I should take it. My dad, he definitely thought I should have took it. He was actually a little bit upset that I didn't speak more to him about it. But I'm like, yo, this is at the time, I'm like, bro, this is a decision I got to make for my career. I'm trying to be a professional about it. I'm trying to be an adult about it. Like, I don't really need too much of my parents, advice. Just because, like, at the end of the day, it's a decision I got to make for myself. And I was very comfortable in the decision that I made. And so I was like, yes, whatever it is, cool, whatever, boom. And talking to my agent, he's like, yeah, I understand. I'm sure we'll probably get something else. It is cool, whatever you want to do. So I told him no. It was that. And I didn't hear anything else until December. So, mind you, at the time, it's like end of October, early November. I didn't hear anything, like any interest from another team until December. So for like an entire month, I heard nothing. And it was honestly probably one of the, I wouldn't say sickening feelings, but it was very like tough, because here I am telling my family, telling like my friends, telling myself that, yo, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna be home for a couple of weeks, few weeks, just get in shape. After that, I'm out of here. And 2 months go by, I'm still here. I'm still at home. No call. December comes. Finally get some interest from teams. They go another direction. This team, they go another direction. This team, they go another direction. This team, they go another direction. So at this point, I'm just like, bro, like, what's going on? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not getting it. And there's a couple teams that are about to offer contract, and we're about to get to the place of, okay, cool. This is what we need. We're about to get a contract. We're about to be cool. And the very last minute, they say no. And it's like one of those moments where it's like, bro, if it doesn't happen by a certain amount of time, you kind of got to think about, okay, it probably won't happen this year. And then if it doesn't happen this year, not only do you go into another year like removed from basketball, and which can sometimes be a hit on your resume, but there's also other players that just have came out of college. And this doesn't apply to everybody because it's different in certain situations, but it's a whole nother pool of players who are coming in from college, coming in from different places of the world who want to play in different areas. So there's more options out there. So it's even less of a probability for you in some cases. And so you're thinking about all of this. Whenever things feel like the worst, you think about all these different things. And to be honest, I shouldn't have thought about any of it because at the end of the day, I'm coming off of injury. Teams are in the middle of the season, like FIBA break, stuff like that. All these things are happening where it's like, okay, you kind of just got to sit and wait. But for me, as somebody who, one, is very impatient, but two, also has like a certain like plan for themselves that they try to follow. For me, I was getting agitated because I'm like, yo, like this is messing up like my plan. Like this is my plan. Like my plan is to do this. My plan is to do this. My plan is to do this. And I finally get a call back from one of the teams who originally had expressed some interest, but it didn't go anywhere. Named Vasco da Gama out of Porto. They had an injury, needed to bring a guy in, and they brought me in. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to do it. It's fine. Boom. Talk to the team, talk to the coach. It was cool. And then I actually went to Vasco for less money than the contract that I got before. And I say that to say that taught me a valuable lesson because understanding like, okay, at the time, I was probably a little bit entitled. At the time, I wouldn't say entitled, but I was thinking in the sense of like, yo, this is the situation. This is what I deserve. This is what I've earned. This is what I've shown, blah, blah, blah. When honestly, when it comes to pro experience, FIBA experience, European, whatever you want to call it, just professional experience, I had none. So the opportunity is what I needed. And so I should have taken that opportunity. I should have did whatever. Next, going into any other situation is just understanding that and not being too prideful. Because I think I was definitely a little bit prideful. I wouldn't say I was arrogant or, entitled or not humble. But I was prideful in a sense. And so Vasco da Gama, that was a situation where I kind of had to put my pride to the side and say, you know what? I'm going to go here. I'm going to take whatever they give me, make the best of the opportunity. And that's what I did. Vasco was beautiful. I had a lot of great moments. Great guys on that team. Shout out to all of them. Shout out to the organization. Shout out to the club. They did a really good job of just allowing me to be me. First couple of games, getting adjusted to everything. Hadn't played basketball in almost a year. It was rough. Couple of games were rough. But I got into the swing of things. And so I went from 6 points the first game, 8 points the next game, and kind of, feeling like, I can be better, I can be better, I can be better. To 20, 30, 35, 53, and just consistently playing well week by week by week by week. And in Portugal, it's a little bit different because you play one game a week, excluding the weeks when you played cup games. So I think the first game I played was a Wednesday because it was a cup game, and then we played another game that weekend. So we had 2 games that week because of the cup game. But every other week, there's just one game a week. And so teams have time to prepare for you. if you don't play well, you have to think about that for a whole week. If you play well, you have a pretty good weekend. So it's also that pressure as well. But then also like every day was just a learning experience for me. Every day I had to really come to practice and really work out properly because one bad day in the week could mess up your whole flow going into the game. And so preparation was key for me, especially playing, some of the better teams where they play, international competition, FIBA Europe Cup, Champions League. There's teams like Benfica, Sporting, FC Porto, that are really good clubs and play everywhere across the Europe. And so you always want to play well against those teams and make sure that you're doing what you got to do in order to be successful. And Porto, I actually did not play well against them, and that's like the one game that I wish I could get back because it was a cup game, so it didn't really count too much, but it was my first game, and I remember I went like 1-for-11, terrible. It was bad. We lost by like 50. It was bad. And so looking back at it now and then looking at how I ended my season in Portugal, I played 12 games. I played 3 cup games, 9 league games. And that was a beautiful time. It was a beautiful time. Just going in there, just the intimacy of the group, of the club. Like, it was a family club, very, 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 very close knit. Everybody from the GM to the coach, whatever, like all of them had played, most of them played for Vasco, if not played for like the senior team and stuff like that, played other places, guys on the team. They had played other places together. They had played national team together when they were younger. They had played in Vasco for years. So me coming into that situation was great for me because they didn't allow me to feel like I was an outsider. They kept me a part of the group. And then the Americans are great. Shout out to Sean. Shout out to LaShawn. Shout out to Akoi. He's Canadian, but that's America too. So shout out to those guys. They allowed me to be me too. It was no weird vibes with them in terms of just going out there and trying to hoop. We were all just trying to do the best we could to put ourselves in the best position for next year in our careers. And I really appreciate those guys because they made that transition easy for me. Coming in the middle of the season, they're already I would say 20 weeks in. It's easy for them to kind of just say, it is whatever. And at the time, like, bottom of the barrel, and unfortunately they were relegated to Pro Liga, and I wish I could have been there a little bit earlier to help them kind of stay in the first division and not get relegated. But during that time we were there, man, we fought. Won some games that we quote unquote weren't supposed to win. Lost some games that we should have won, but it was a great experience for all of us. And I really got the chance to really kind of go back to high school a little bit and be like that scorer that I was, that leader that I was, that guy, go-to guy who really can make things happen. That was a special moment for me and also showed me what I could be and kept me hungry, man. It kept me hungry to just be the best I could be. And then, as you play better and, things are happening, you get used to the area. I'm starting to feel good in Porto. I'm starting to like the environment, speak a little bit of Portuguese, meet the people and start to really become friends and acquaintances with everybody around me. And then you start getting the calls. You start getting your agents telling you about this, your agents telling you about that team, and this team is reaching out, and that team is reaching out, and you're trying to stay focused on the mission, but you're hearing all these different things, and then obviously money is better and stuff like this. So now it's like, okay, I got to think about this, and that, but I also want to make sure that I'm putting myself in the best position possible for my rookie season, to be able to have a good resume for next season, all these different things, right? And so when I think about how I felt in those moments, it was probably the most pressure I felt, not pressure, but probably the most stress, and I say stress in a positive way because it kept me wanting to play well. But it's probably the most like stressed as a professional that I've ever felt. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to play well. So for me, like having that expectation isn't bad, but when you're thinking about, okay, boom, I gotta play well, not only because I gotta do it for Vasco, I gotta do it for these fans and this club and this team that's trying to stay in the first division, that's really relying on me to help them. But there's also there's this team in Sweden or Lithuania or wherever in the world that's watching as well. It's like, okay, I gotta make sure I play well. So now every practice is a game, basically. Like every workout is a practice. Everything you do and everything you envision and think about, like you have to do it in a way that represents you well and positively impacts you and your career. And like I said, in Portugal, you have one game a week. So this whole week, I'm talking to my agent. I'm hearing this from my agent. I'm hearing that from my agent. And I'm trying to keep it to myself as much as possible because I don't want to mess up the chemistry of the team and stuff like that. But it's a lot. And again, I don't apologize for it. I wouldn't trade it for the world because, you'd rather that situation than to be playing bad and not hearing anything. Trust me, I know both. So, yeah. So anyway, I get the opportunity I got presented with two contracts at the end of the season in Portugal. By that time, we knew we weren't getting to the playoffs. We were on the verge of being relegated. We knew that was basically a foregone conclusion. And so I left and decided to come to Orléans. Basically before like our last game in the regular season. Excuse me. Basically the last game before the regular season. And it was kind of bittersweet because we were playing Benfica the last game of the season, and Benfica is the best team in Portugal. So it would have been a great opportunity for me to go out there and really compete and really show just all of Portugal, like who I am and like how good I really can be. But, obviously anything can happen in a game like that. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to, anything can happen. So you would rather leave earlier than to leave too late and then risk anything, right? And this was something that we had been looking at and flirting with for a couple of weeks, and I still remained diligent to the team. I still practiced. I still played games. I still made sure that I did my job as a professional and as a good person, and basically fulfill my obligations as a player at Vasco da Gama. And when I left, I told the guys, I told the coaches, I made sure that I handled everything, and we left on great terms, and everybody was amicable. And yeah, so anyway, coming to Orléans, night and day to Vasco, night and day. As soon as I got here, I flew into Paris, was picked up by one of the team managers. Shout out to Pascal. We drove back, and in Portugal, everybody spoke English. So it's very cool to speak to guys, understand everything. Landing in France, not too many people spoke English. So already it was kind of like, oof, it was tough. Like I land in the airport, I'm trying to ask directions. Nobody's understanding me. And then there is this little stigma on people in France of being mean and rude. And sometimes they have like the, mean face. So sometimes you want to approach them kind of in caution. But I thought it was kind of funny though, because they say that in America, and then when I got here and then I started actually talking to people, they were actually really nice. And so it was cool. But got to the team and met all the guys, As soon as I got here, I practiced with them. 2 days later, I played my first game. And that game was electric. It was amazing. And I'm like, okay, like I could, do my thing here. It's cool. It's good. Like I'm a believer in early on. I'm a believer in France Pro B, everything. And then you always have that transition period, and you never know how long it is, right? And for me, the transition period started right after that first game. And even in practices, like you can feel when you don't know something and you're trying to learn and guys are trying to help you, guys are trying to teach you. And you get to the point of like, okay, I'm at this wall. I need to get over this wall. I need to figure out how to conquer this, because you want to be the best version of yourself. You want to help your team. You just want to be the best you can be. And everything in Oleon is great. The team is great. Organization is great from the top to bottom. Everybody is great. The coach is great. Like, everything is great. The city is nice. I love the food. I love being here. Only thing that's kind of crazy is the taxes, but we'll leave that alone. But everything is amazing. But basketball in France is totally different from basketball in Portugal, basketball in Italy, basketball in America, basketball everywhere. And it's actually really, really physical. And I've always had a lot of respect for French players, because I've seen a lot of French players come to America and be really successful. So I knew that France was like a country where basketball was really good and basketball was really prominent. And so a lot of people respect French basketball, like, and especially now with like Wemby, like everybody looks at France and they're like, okay, France is good. You got Rudy Gobert, you got Wemby, you got Fournier, you got Batum, you got Diaw, you got all these different guys, man. I can go on and on about it. Trust me, I know a lot of basketball, so it's all in here. But coming here and playing with guys, it's like, okay, it's basically and still teaching me now, like, got to get better. And it's always been like that for me. Like, I've always been in a situation where it's like, okay, you get to a certain level to where you basically got comfortable and you're starting to feel good and you're starting to basically get the hang of things. And now here's the next challenge. Now you got to figure this out. And here's the next challenge. Now you got to figure this out. And coming to Oleon, we had 5 regular season games for me to kind of just, I guess, get out the kinks in the armor. And then it was playoff time. And it didn't exactly go that way. It hasn't exactly went that way. But one thing that I do know is that I'm getting better every day, playing against guys who have been playing for 10 plus years, playing against guys who play, FIBA international for their national teams and, have played basketball on the highest levels in France and across Europe. You learn a lot from these guys just by watching, but then also on the court, obviously, you're playing against competition that's challenging you every single day. And so I enjoy every minute of it. And you can look at the stats and you can say, okay, this is this is that. Okay, yeah. Portugal was 26 points a game, scored 53 points, 30 points every other game. Like, yeah, of course. France, 4 points, 6 points, 1 point, like, not playing that much, but it's a learning experience that I don't run from. It's something that I really, really enjoy because I'm in the fire of just learning. I'm in the fire of understanding, like, okay, like, this is the floor. I know I'm not on the floor. This is the ceiling, and that's where I want to get to. And I'm somewhere in the middle, and I'm just trying to continue to climb. And so, for me, I've been having a great time. Can it be tough at times? Yes. Is it tough at times? Yes. Is losing tough? Yes. Is playing bad? Yes. When you have certain expectations of yourself? Absolutely. Especially, like I said, being an American player, you already have that stereotype of, okay, this guy has to be really good. Like, this guy has to be this, guy has to be that. So you think about that in the back of your mind, but you try your best not to. Or you have to try your best not to, because everybody's growth is different. Everybody's path is different. This is my first year playing pro, but it's not even really my first, I can't even say year. It's like I've been playing professional for 15 games, like 16 games. Like, everybody's going to have their bumps in the road or their inconsistencies, and it's just your job to put in the work every day and concentrate and focus diligently on what you have to do, and that's what builds your consistency. And I'm fully confident that next game I'll be better than last game, and last game I was better than the game before. And as long as you can do that, bro, like, you're doing your job in your heart. Now, things happen. You know, teams let players go. Teams don't re-sign guys. Teams sign guys. Teams bring guys in. Like, it's a revolving door when it comes to all of this, man. But that's just the business of basketball, and you can't let the business of basketball kill your approach to basketball. I would never let a outcome or a circumstance kill my desire to go into the gym and get better, my desire to go to practice and want to compete and learn, my desire to watch film. If anything, I have to tell myself sometimes to dial it back and reel it in, because I'm doing so much. And a lot of people tell me that. They've been telling me that since I was in college. Like, Zay, chill, you're doing too much. Relax, go take a day off. Go do this, go do that. And even my routine now when I take a day off is like work, but it's because I have to do something. Like, I have to feel like I'm getting better in some type of way, or keeping my edge in some type of way. And as long as I can do that every day and still can feel that urge to want to fight, I'm always gonna give myself a chance and an opportunity. And I know who I am as a player. I know who I am as a man, as a person. So that'll never derail me. So all in all, I've been enjoying myself, guys. Like, I've been really, really, really appreciative of everything that's happened this year. I feel like God has allowed me an opportunity to just learn so much over a small period of time. And it's great because you look at it from the standpoint of, like, I was looking for an opportunity, and I've been able to get 2 really great opportunities in the span of 5 months. So that prayer was answered, and, like, it only gets better from here. Like, this is year 1, and as much craziness that has happened, and as much of a roller coaster I've been on in these last few months, every day is a different thing. Like, I'm playing in the semifinals of Pro B, but a chance to help my team move up to Pro A. And Pro A is probably one of the best leagues in the world as far as professional basketball. So, like, who said I was going to be here? Like, if you would have told me years ago that I would be in this position right now, I don't know if I would have believed it. I don't know if it would have been a dream. I don't know how I would have reacted to it. So I'm just taking it a day at a time. I'm putting in the work. I'm grinding. I'm keeping that fire, bro, because, like I said, just a few months ago, last time you guys saw me, I was just trying to get an opportunity. I was just hoping that my shoulder was okay. And now I'm in a position where basketball is my job. Basketball is my life. And I'm making my family proud back home. I'm making my friends proud back home. I'm making everybody that's close to me and associates themselves with me, like, I'm making it worthwhile. And so it's only motivation to keep going. Like I posted something on Instagram the other day, and it was just a picture of Comet when we played our last home game against Vichy in the first round of the playoffs, and they announced my name. I seen my picture and my name on the jumbotron. I seen it on the court, like LED lights and stuff like that. And I was just like, bro, to see an arena with this, it actually kind of looked like the NBA low key, and that's how I felt. But looking at it, I'm just like, bro, this is just confirmation to keep going, because this is the reality that I dreamed about, that I worked towards, that I said was going to happen since I was 14, 15, 16 years old. And to be able to say that I'm making it happen is, it's a blessing, bro. It actually, when I think about it, it makes me emotional, because I know what I had to do to get here. So regardless of what it looks like, regardless of what somebody would say, regardless of what someone would think or try to do, bro, I put in the work, bro. I put in the work, and it's showing. And so you guys can definitely look forward to seeing more of Xavier McLean playing at a high level, competing, learning, and never running from adversity, never running from anything. And this, I can honestly say, like, year one is going to be the worst version of Xavier McLean that anybody's going to see as far as a professional. And if I had to say, if I had to give myself a assessment, had a pretty solid year one. Have a pretty solid year one, irrespective of anything that's happened in these last 5 months, 6 months, whatever. I've had a better year one than a lot of people have had. So I'm optimistic, and I don't say that in a way that's arrogant. I don't say that in a way that's disrespectful to anybody, but I say it in a way that's confident and motivating and encouraging to me, because a lot of people don't get this opportunity. A lot of people don't get this. A lot of people would love to have the problems that I have. And so, in knowing that, it keeps me going, and it just makes me excited. So yeah, but that's a little bit about my life, man. That's what's been going on since I've been around. If I could leave you guys, I know I usually have like a little topic that I have, and a little quote or saying that I usually, have as like the discussion kind of point that we revolve around. But not today. I'll just leave you guys with this, man. Never allow a circumstance to, like I said, never allow a circumstance, an outcome, or the business of anything dictate your approach to anything. Because your approach is organic, your approach is authentic, your approach is you. And you're already going to have changes to your approach based on anything, based on age, based on location, based on resources. Those are things that'll change regardless. Like, that's inevitable. But never allow someone else or something else that you can't control. Let me go back. Never allow something that you can't control you. Because as long as you can control what you do, the uncontrollables will never matter. Like I said, location, age, resources, all that stuff. It never matters if your approach is to stay hungry every single day, if your love stays as the love every single day. So that shouldn't change Yeah, so now so now I'm saying in my head, yeah, it's the same thing. If that applies to that, then if you're going through a shooting slump, if you're going through a rough patch, if you're going through a week of bad sleep or anything like that, a breakup, anything, don't allow that to take you off your path to greatness in what you do. Because if your hunger and your love stays alive, you always put yourself in a position to give yourself a better opportunity. And if there's anything that I've learned, or maybe not learned, but have had to continue to tell myself and continue to reiterate, is that I love every bit of it. So if I can do it in the position I'm in, and with you guys knowing where I came from and the person I've been for years on years on years, you guys can do it too. And so I pass that on to you guys. I like to share that game with y'all because the game was given to me, and like I said, just pay it forward. So yeah, that's that. That concludes our episode of Truey Talks. It's your boy Xavier McLean, aka Xavier McLean, aka 3 Truey. And I'm out, man. Y'all have a good day.